Hey there, it's Katerina from the Metropolis of San Francisco Music Ministry, and today I'll begin to introduce the figures of Byzantine notation and incorporate the concepts we discussed in our previous video. Let's review. In our last video, we went through the note names, martirias, and the concepts of paralahi and melos. Let's quickly recall the note names of Byzantine music. Ni, pa, vu, ga, di, ke, zo, ni. As we discussed, when we chant a piece of music using the note names, we call this chanting the paralahi. When we chant the words of a hymn, we call this chanting the melos. Byzantine music has its own notation system made up of characters called neumes. The term neume comes from the Greek word pneuma, meaning sign. It is also believed that this word is derived from pneuma, which means breath. We can understand how the two may be related, where each breath from the mouth can correspond to a note that is sung. It's important to point out that Byzantine notation is a relative system, which is to say, Byzantine notation works by reading a note through its relation to the note before it. In comparison, in the staff notation system, each note on the staff can independently give the absolute pitch, meaning we could point to any note on the staff notation score and know what pitch it is. In Byzantine notation, we need to know what we chanted up until that point in order to know what note we are on. This system is relative. That means we will have characters that indicate movement relative to the previous note. Movement up, movement down, jumps, descents, or simply remaining where we are. Alright, so let's learn some neumes and then see if we can apply the note names to them, or in other words, chant some paralahi. This first character is called the ison. This character indicates that we sang the same note as the previous note. For example, if we started on the note ni, indicated by the martiria on the left, and we saw an ison, we know that we should sing a ni again. Listen to this example. Ni, 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 ni. This may raise another question. If we were chanting ni and then ni again, what does ni sound like and how do we know? Every Byzantine music score will indicate a mode and an initial starting note that the hymn is based on. We'll go into these details at a later time, and for now, I'll introduce the starting pitch to you. For the purposes of learning our notes, we are going to begin with a plagal of the fourth mode, which has a bass note ni. I will sing the diatonic scale from the note ni up the entire octave so we can hear how this sounds. You can follow along with the chart of paralahi. Ni, pa, vu, ga, di, ke, zo, ni. Next up, the oligon. Now that we know what the notes in this mode are supposed to sound like, let's introduce our next character, the oligon. The oligon tells us to ascend one note from where we presently are. Oligon means a little, so we ascend just a little, one note up the scale in the mode that we are in. Now if we go back to our notes, that would mean, for example, if we were on the note ni, and the symbol we saw was an oligon, we know that the note we should sing is pa. If we were on pa, and the next symbol was an oligon, then we should sing vu, and so on. Ni, pa, vu, ga, di. Finally, let me introduce our last symbol for today, the apostrophos, which indicates that we should descend one note. The term apostrophos means to turn back, and that's more or less what we are doing. We're turning back from the previous note, descending one note. To give an example, if we were on the note the, and the next symbol were an apostrophos, then we would descend to ga, and so forth. Di, ga, vu, pa, ni. Let's have a look at an exercise that incorporates these concepts. We will begin on the note ni, as is indicated, and sing on paralagi. Each noom will be one beat. The martirias will help ensure that we are in the proper place as we go through the music. Are you ready to give it a try? Pause the video and try it yourself. Then restart and we can go over it together. Okay, ready? Let's sing through this together. Ni pavura di kezoni ni zo kedi gavupani. How did you do? If you still feel unsure of the music, take some time to rewind and run through this exercise again. Let's try another. Remember to pause the video to try it yourself, then we'll do it together. Ni, ni, pa, pa, fu, fu, ga, ga, di, ke, so, ni, zo, ke, di, ga, vo, pa, ni. If you need to, sing through this exercise again. The more often you sing through all of these examples, the sooner you'll be able to confidently read the neumes. Here's another exercise. Pause the video, try it yourself, then we'll go through it together. Ni pavu ga di ke di gavu pa ni pa pavu ga di ke zo ke di Kezonini. How did you do? Last but not least, pause the video, sing through this yourself, then we'll do it together. Ni pavuga di ke di ke di gavuga di gavu vuga di gavu pa ni pavu pa ni zo ni. Great! So how did all of those feel? It's always important to practice these multiple times so that they become second nature to you. Thank you for being with me today. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.